All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another video, back with another episode of Corner Talk. It's been a while since I've done these little corner talks. As y'all know, well, some of y'all that don't know, because I've only done them a few times in the past year or two, but I'm going to have to start bringing this little series back again. Corner Talk is basically me just talking about these fighters and kind of analyzing and kind of giving a little bit of motivational words and, just giving my constructive criticism. Not really just going in bashing a fighter or, talking trash about him. But corner talk is me basically putting myself in the position of being that person's trainer or being in that person's corner and just kind of helping them make the decisions that need to be made. So I wanted to jump back on and just talk a little bit more about the return of one of my favorite fighters, a long-awaited return of Tatiana Suarez. As y'all know, Tatiana Suarez announced her comeback. It's going to be in a couple more months, and it's going to be at flyweight. Going to be at 125 pounds, and an opponent hasn't been named yet. But shout out to my man BJ from No Filter MMA. He's going to be having her and her boyfriend Patchy Mix from Bellator on either Saturday or Sunday. So definitely tune into that. Shout out to my man BJ for, just representing WMMA as well. And, always keeping in contact with Tatiana. I'm a big fan of hers, but he's also a big fan. And, he's always trying to, reach out to her, find out some updates. And, he's been one of the optimistic ones as well. Like myself, has always been like, hey, Tatiana will make her comeback. Now, if she can't, she can't, but I believe in her. I was like, hey, she really wants this, and she's going to try to give it that go. Some people counted her out, but hopefully, God willing, everything goes well, and she'll be back in February. But I just wanted to jump on here and kind of talk about her comeback and how important it is for not just the flyweight division, but for WMMA. And, just kind of talk about her path now. Her path. Will she stay at 125 or will she move back down to 115, as time goes on, and how, depending on how well she feels. So first off, as far as Tatiana coming back, this is something I've been waiting for years now. Whenever a year passed and the second year passed after 2019, it was 2021, I was kind of like, I don't know if she will come back. She's still needed in the game right now. It left a lot of, people hanging, whenever she was just on this warpath at strawweight. Her last fight was against Nina Azaroff back in 2019. And, everybody felt like she was going to get that title shot next, right? But, of course, the injuries came along. And then, like I said, 1 year passed, 2 years passed, 3 years passed. And we're just kind of like, okay, maybe she's not coming back. But last year, when she started talking about getting that itch again, reaching out to Dana, I was like, okay, I like this. And then when I heard she was coming back at 125, I was like, okay, even better now. As she gets older, this is a weight that's going to fit her. She's a big, strong woman, and I think she fit in right. I think she would fit in right at 125, right? And, last year when it was first announced she was going to either fight, she wanted to fight Andrea Lee, and it was announced she's going to fight Roxanne. I was like, okay, that's doable. That's definitely doable for her. So, things didn't go well again, and she had to put it off. But now she's going to try to come back in a couple more months. And I think that's good for the game, man, because they need this type of energy. We need this type of energy from a fighter like Tatiana, who's always been, one to just go for it. She's the type of fighter that knows that she needs that good balance, kind of like Tyler Santos. We need that good balance again in just combat sports, period. We got too many people that want to marinate things, or people that just kind of want to pump the brakes at the wrong time. When the momentum, when you're going up the hill, man, you just gotta keep going. You can't take your foot off the gas. You're gonna roll back down, and you will come crashing down, right? That's the time that you got to keep on rolling up there. So fighters like Tatiana, I think they were the best representations, even Santos, of what you're supposed to do when you get an opportunity. And I think that if everything goes right in February, as far as coming back and getting a win, I definitely think that, Tatiana Suarez is going to show fighters how it's done. That you got to put that pedal down to the metal, And Tatiana brings that energy. That's what we need. She was always like that at 115. She was going in there taking on the best. I remember that she wanted to fight Andrade. She wanted to fight Joanna. She wanted to fight all these fighters, And it was just the injuries that stopped her. So I think whenever she comes back in February and you see her get a win and she looks good, she will make those call-outs to the better fighters, I think that she will step it up, and she will be one to, when she gets into that position, to show these other fighters how it's done, to say, look, if I got the skills, I need to test myself. Well, if I don't have the perfect skills, because nobody's perfect, I can still go in there and give it my all and, try my hardest, and that's what she does. Like Tatiana, one of the best wrestlers in the game, period, may at the time didn't have the best striking, but she was making it work for her even in her last fight. So I think she's that type of fighter that just say, okay, I'm ready for it. And like I said in my previous videos, that's how you got to be. There's nothing else you can say as far as, I got to hold off and do this and do that first. No, you just got to make do with what you have and make it better along the way. Right. And that's how Tatiana works. And I like that energy. And we need that back in this division. We need it back in WMMA, period. Like I said. So, yeah, her coming back is going to bring that energy. And as far as her climb back up, I'm going to be real. I'm also going to be real. As much as I'm a fan, I'm not going to let I ain't going to call myself a fanboy like that, but I'm not going to let my like for a fighter blind my logic. I'm not that type of, I'm not that type of content creator, when I'm talking about these fighters. Like, if I see something wrong, I'm going to call it out, because I think that helps, even the fans of these fighters. Even if a fighter hears this video, it'll help them say, okay, well, this is what I need to work on. It ain't gonna make them say, oh, he talking trash back. No, I'm just calling out what I see. Like, if a fighter drops their hands too much, I'm gonna say, hey, this fighter drops their hands too much, they're gonna get knocked out one day, right? I'm gonna be real with it. So for Tatiana, I'm gonna be real as far as like where she starts off. It's important that she starts off even lower than she was supposed to last year. I'm just being real. Like, she's been out 4 years. This is a weight class that she hasn't fought at. Granted, she could be stronger here because she is a bigger woman. Like I said, she was a big strawweight. But with the inactivity, 4 years off, I think it's wise for her to, not necessarily start off at the bottom, but just kind of humble yourself and take an unranked fighter right now. That's why I was just kind of looking at the unranked fighters, just saying, okay, this is the fighter that's best for their fit right now. Even in boxing, fighters do that. Like some of your former champions, when they've been out for like 2 or 3 years, for whatever reason, they come back against, a journeyman. They just take on a journeyman just to kind of get their feet wet again and work on their timing. Get the timing back, get their reflexes back. Take a punch or two and just say, okay, I'm back in it. Kind of break the ice as far as the walk to the ring and, just moving around, because when you get back in there after a long time off, you do have to kind of shake that wall off, break that wall down again and say, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where I need to be, because getting in the ring and actually fighting is different than training, right? You can train all day, but when you actually get in to the cage or the ring, it could be a freeze up moment, right? It could be a freeze up moment if you don't break all that ice off, right? So I think, for somebody like Tatiana Suarez, though she's, high level fighter, she was on her way there 4 years ago. I think it's best that she, takes on like an unranked fighter right now, like a Kareem Silva. I threw that name out there. Who else is there? Even like a Melissa Gatto. I'm gonna go as far as to say that Melissa Gatto is a name. Some people said Montana would just get dominated. Okay, no Montana De La Rosa, but nah, somebody like Kareem Silva, I think, is a good name for her. Because she's a fighter with a high finishing rate, and we can just kind of test out, see where she's at right now. Where Tatiana's at, see if she can go in there and dominate somebody that's that dangerous. And if that could build her confidence up with that type of win, okay, then we can move her up to like the mid rankings. Then get up in there with somebody like 11 through 14 or something like that, right? So yeah, I'm just saying, I just want to see her move slower, because with all the injuries she had, that can also kind of throw it can throw that wrench into, the momentum right now, so you want to start it off against somebody that's not going to be too big of a threat, that's not high level, high activity, that's going to push you to the limit right back in your first fight. You know what I mean? So I just want to see her take a couple of baby steps, and then boom, when she feels good, get it going. But I don't think the weight is really going to be an issue with her, because she talked about it in the interview last year that, whenever she was training around this weight, like 125 and 130, she always felt strong. She always felt strong, and she always felt like she could keep going. You know what I mean? Like versus 115. She felt good at 115, but great at 125. So I don't think the weight is definitely, it's not going to be an issue for her, even at this point, with over 4 years off, or about 4 years off, right? But another name I could think of too, if they wanted to push a little bit faster in the top 15, is Cynthia Calvillo. If Calvillo doesn't go down to 115, because she's still ranked. She's talking about going down to 115. That was a fight that, was talked about before that I wanted to see at 115. So that one's always out there as well. But yeah, man. Yeah, I just hope the best for Tatiana in this situation, because, that is one thing that I have to think about as well. Like, not just her starting off at a lower level, but also the injuries. Again, being a realist like I am, and, wanting to speak with logic, I always still think about that, because I remember that one time when she talked about in training, hurting the neck in there and like hearing the pop, and, the hand, knees, all of that. You just hope for the best for this type of fighter and hope everything is going to be in play for her. So yeah, man. Yeah. 2 more months, we'll be seeing Tatiana back. Guys, let me know in the comment section who you think it's going to be in February, who's the best opponent for her right now. I know some people asked me, they're like, yo, can she come in right off top and fight at a high level? I'm like, no, not yet, man. Not with 4 years of inactivity. I would never put a fighter like that. Like, even if they left off at number 1, number 2, I would never put my fighter in there at that type of level yet, because another thing I wanted to cover before I leave here is one thing that we also have to make sure that Tatiana is prepared for is this evolved division. A lot's changed since 2019. A lot's changed since 2019 as far as, the skill set of these women in WMMA now. Not a lot of these fighters are just wrestlers now. Not a lot of these fighters are just grapplers. Everybody's trying to come in learning new skills. Everybody's trying to be more so well-rounded. I know we still have some issues with some specialists out there who just want to be one-dimensional, but there's still some fighters out there now that are learning how to strike, learning how to, strike their way in to get their takedowns and not just bull rush their way in, to defend takedowns now, using the right range, distance management, everything, getting better with their jabs. So that's another thing that Tatiana has to be prepared for. Being out for this long, you're dealing with bigger, stronger fighters at 125. And, 125, to me, has a little bit much more of a well-rounded gang of fighters, a group of fighters, even on the lower level. Shout out to Gabby, one of my subscribers, something she asked me about 125. I believe 125 is more of a smoother transition type of division right now. They're unranked fighters that's moving in are well-rounded, and they're very competitive with the top 15, versus strawweight. Strawweight, you can kind of see the gap in between their skills there. Like top 15, they're more so the older experienced fighters. Then you got the girls that are coming in there. They're a little bit more greener, But at 125, you see the unranked fighters slowly transition their way in, like, Blanchfield, Gatto, JJ Aldridge, Tracy Cortez. All those fighters all kind of balance themselves out. So, you see a Tatiana in there with Tracy Cortez. You gotta be aware of the wrestling. You gotta be aware of the clinch game. Some of these fighters just know how to bide their time on the ground now, just laying on you. So yeah, just as much as I want to see her come back, there's a lot of things that she's gonna have to be prepared for. And of course, this ain't directly to her, because she knows what to prepare. She's a fighter. You know what I mean? This is just for some of the fans that are wanting to see her come back. They got to understand that when she comes back, she's got to make sure, those injuries are gone. She's close to 100%, and she got to be prepared for this evolved game. She can wrestle the hell out of you now. Tatiana should take you down and dominate you, but, there's some girls out there with, that are getting better with their takedown defense in hand. So, definitely a different game than it was in 2019. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I know some people are still doubtful, but nah, Tatiana will be back. And shout out to my man BJ. Be getting this interview in a couple more days. Let me know, BJ, Saturday, Sunday, when it's going down. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.